Well, I am so excited today. I have a guest who calls herself the singing speaker, CJ Janzen. And we were testing things out before we got started today, and the way she sings is beautiful. And she has a very unique way of mixing song into her speaking gigs. And I'm so excited to have you today, CJ. Thank you. Thank you.
This is just so much fun, so awesome. And thank you for this opportunity.
Great, great. So tell us a little bit about joyful resilience and the singing speaker and how does that connect? And you're an inspirational keynote speaker. Tell me a little bit more about you.
It came about because literally overnight, in 2012, I woke up on my birthday and my life changed completely. I went from scuba diving 2 to 4 times a day to being barely able to speak 2 to 4 words at a time. And all my hopes, my dreams, my plans for the future were gone. And don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me, is literally I lost everything. I fought as hard as I could, but eventually I was forced back to Canada. And I came home on that airplane with 2 life-threatening illnesses. An unknown virus, which had eventually morphed into a neuroimmune illness called myalgic encephalomyelitis. Feel free to call it ME, because after all, it's all about me. Yeah, an old joke, a very tired one, but it works.
Yeah. Just before you go on, I want to say, I like how you integrate a relevant song to your experience in the way you're telling us about you. That's really moving.
It's a really important part of how I speak. I use music and song to connect people, because music is even when people with dementia have lost everything else, you put music in front of them that they love, and they will dance again. They will sing again. They will play a piano from memory, because it is ingrained in our souls. And by combining that music, it helps to uplift people, provides comic relief. Always look on the bright side of life. And somebody always whistles. And it's one of those things that I love adding it in, and it gives power behind the messages. So the second part, the second illness was alcoholism.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. I was on that airplane home promising I will never drink again. That didn't last more than 48 hours. But within 5 days, I made it through the doors of AA, and I have been sober since. So I'm now over 12 years sober. So
congratulations. That's a big achievement and very inspiring to other people.
It is part of the many, many stories that make up CJ. As part of all of that, being laid so low, I lost all of my self-worth. I felt like a burden on society, like a waste of space. And I didn't know it initially, but I started putting names to the steps on how I can get to where I am now. And the first one was trying to learn to live in a state of gratitude. And, we are so blessed to be able to go to the lamp and there's light. We go to the sink, there's water. I have a roof over my head. I have a warm, comfortable bed to sleep in. So even though there are days where I struggle with just the simple act of breathing, where it no longer feels automatic, where I wish I could be put on a ventilator just to let my poor body completely rest. I have days like that. But then I have other days, like today, where I get to sit up, be active for a few hours. I'm 80 to 90% bedbound. And yet I can still live a full and abundant life by using sort of the 3 steps that I use in my keynotes.
Well, that's really interesting because how do you stay in a positive mental attitude when, like, I know gratitude is your one way, but how did you get to that? Like, was there a place in between where you weren't there? And how did you pull yourself out of that? Like, how did you get to the gratitude? Because I'm sure there was a dark time.
There are still dark times,
Okay.
but it is how you deal with the dark times that changed.
Okay.
So when I first started out, all I could do is sit in a corner, feel sorry for myself, and wait to die. I had to choose between life and drinking and not living and just stagnating and passing away. And I refused to do that. I watched my mom battle cancer for 13 years. She didn't win, but she still lived a joyous life most of the time. So I had a role model. But the other thing is, like with any skill, it starts off being very difficult, but eventually through practice, you build up the gratitude muscles, so to speak. And by stating things out loud, I am so thankful that I am warm today. I am so thankful that at the hospital, I got to see a beautiful bouquet of flowers. I remember in a really bad time a few years ago, my dad had a very bad health episode, and we had to move him into long-term care. I had to take apart a house that he'd lived in for 50 years. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm by myself. I had one friend who had to drive me there because I couldn't even get there on my own. And yet, by having that open heart of love and acceptance, I made a new best friend. I had a community of people surround me, and we took that house apart, and we were able to install Dad into the place that he needed to be safe and cared for. And I remember one day I couldn't go upstairs. I couldn't go downstairs. I was on one floor, and I remember looking out the glass door, and in the backyard it was springtime, and a bush that my mom had planted years ago was in full bloom. And I sat there with tears in my eyes, so thankful to be surrounded by love and by memories of her and the things that she brought into the house. So even though I was going through one of the worst times of my life, I can look back at that time and still realize that it was a beautiful time, even though it was sad. So it's by using that constant state of gratitude to be thankful for as many things as possible. I mean, if I hadn't have gotten sick, I wouldn't have made it through the doors of AA.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have made it through the doors of AA, I wouldn't have joined church that I had seen for years, but was too afraid to walk through those doors. I got to reconnect with the God of my understanding.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could be thankful for that were connected through that state of gratitude.
Yeah. I'm just being grateful right now for my cat getting sticky notes stuck to his butt as he's listening to you talking. And so this gratitude attitude comes with humor too. Like it has a lot of gifts within it. And you through your life, like through this situation that's happened to you, you have taken it and created a teaching out of it.
Yeah.
A teaching that is a very high service. And so what's the second pillar that you've learned? You have gratitude attitude. I want to let you tell us about the next one. What's the next one about that's really empowered you and lifted you up?
I think this is the biggest one, which is become willing to fearlessly fail. Now, I'm not aiming to fail in any way, shape, or form, but I'm giving myself permission to fail. I am allowing myself to act like a child, to look awkward, to feel silly, to feel inadequate. And if all else happens, I'm willing to fail. That is an acceptable outcome because I have learned new skills. I will have learned new skills. I will have met new people. I will have made new connections. What skill I learned today may seem irrelevant, but in the years to come, it may be a critical thing that I need to propel myself in the future. The failures become the stepping stones to success. And what I realized is that it's okay if I'm only taking tiny steps every day. There are days, again, I'm struggling to do the simplest of tasks, which includes speaking. And I can still achieve my hopes and my dreams by pushing myself, by getting out of that comfort zone. If you have to be resilient, you are in that gap between what you know now and what you hope to achieve. And there is this roller coaster that can go with it. But by being in that state of gratitude, by being willing to fearlessly fail, and for the last pillar being by finding the folks that will hold you up when you're too weak to stand on your own, that crazy wave that most people experience, that roller coaster, can be made into a much gentler, smoother ocean curve, so to speak. And by using the 3 pillars, I have found that through those darkest days, through those toughest times, that I can find the beautiful, I can find the funny, I can try new things. Like I just signed a book deal to co-author a book called Start Over with Sir Marco Robinson. I'm dyslexic. I am ADHD. I am facing barrier after barrier, and yet I'm still willing to try. I am willing to force myself out of the state of poverty that I live in. It's okay. I'm on a disability pension. It's expected, but I'm not willing to stay there. I am going to fight tooth and nail for my future because I don't need to be on disability. I am a fully capable speaker that finds joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee in everything. It is scary. I could become homeless. I could not have enough food to eat in the coming weeks. That's okay. I will find a way through all of that because I'm willing to fearlessly fail.
Well, I get what you're talking about too, because, purpose is my shtick. I help people align with their purpose, get powerful, get their power, body, mind, spirit, energy, all aligned so that you can create the prosperity that you deserve doing what you love.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you're doing. You're creating an alignment for yourself. You found your purpose through a bad experience, almost a life-changing experience. And that's actually how I found my purpose, was through a life-changing experience. Sometimes we need wake-up calls or whatever it is. And, your resilience and your ability to have humor and this gratitude and to fearlessly fail, you've cultivated that over time. Like you've had a lifetime of cultivating that. And those are your main gifts. Like you have these gifts and you're expanding them. And the more you expand them, the more you do what you love and you feel good doing it, that's prosperity. And that's an energy that will just attract more prosperity to you. And we're in the same communities, a few communities of people, of high vibe people. And I love this find your folks thing because I'm experiencing that as well. It's like, as you shift inside with, my pillars or CJ's pillars, positive pillars of teaching, and then you not only just read them or think them, you believe them, you take actions with them, you can attract those people show up in your life easily. Like we found each other in a Zoom room.
Exactly.
You know?
It's the blue car principle that if you buy a blue car I have a Dodge Caravan. I had never noticed Dodge Caravans before, but as soon as I had one, look at how many Dodge Caravans there are on the road, because you become attuned to look for certain things. And when when I joined AA, I surrounded myself with a community that helped to celebrate and elevate me and carry me through the times, some of the darkest times in my life, where every day, every minute at the beginning was a battle. It wasn't just, I'm thinking about drinking once a day. It was relentless. Yet by surrounding myself with the people who had walked those steps before me, I was able to make it through. And I now get to help others make it through. When I, was feeling very lost and confused and alone, by reaching out to that little tiny church of, like, there's maybe 30, 40 people that are members, they got me to the medical appointments that I needed. They came with me to medical appointments because I could barely speak. We would have conversations that took forever to get through in my home before going to the events to see these doctors, so that they could stand up for me and speak on my behalf. The number of times that I have been helped by friends and strangers is incredible, because I was willing to reach out. One of the things that I did to find purpose and passion again, it's a silly little exercise. I call it my mission impossible. Dun, 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 dun. Every day, I have to either go out in person or go online and make one person smile. And if I can do that one job, that one thing, what I see in my mind is that smile that you gave me. You're going to turn around to somebody else today and you're going to share that smile. And it's going to have that ripple effect, that butterfly effect. And that smile can travel around the world. We never know how those kind words, those ways of just touching somebody's life and improving it slightly, can alter the world. I will walk up to complete strangers. And for example, for you, I loved how your smile just lit up the room.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you, but nonetheless, I found beauty and made a connection with another human being just by observing their smile. And I highly recommend that as an exercise. Just go out and make it your mission to make one person smile, even when you have nothing left to give the world. Send a meme to a friend knowing that it's going to make them laugh. I call them drive-by huggings on the internet. Just to make somebody smile, to make their day a tiny bit better.
Yeah. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was waitressing and I was walking to work a lot. And so I was waitressing and I was serving, right? I was with people all the time. But even when I was walking, and I do it now still, I smile at people on the sidewalk. I smile at my customers when they sit down. I smile. And it really changes the whole dynamic for yourself. Like, when you smile, you uplift yourself. Like, you can't help, your mouth goes up. You can't help but feel better.
Yeah.
And there's another other thing about the smiling that I was remembering. I've lost it. But anyway, smiles, yes, all around the world. And Merlin keeps coming in here and he just is part of it. And I just can't help but smile. If a cat videos, if you're feeling down, like, watch some cat videos, right? They'll get you smiling.
Guilty.
Yeah. So I've been watching you. I've been paying attention to you on Facebook and on social media channels. And I seen, like, have you won some speaking awards lately? Like, what's been going on there? I've been seeing a lot of awards and celebrations. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I have been nominated for a number of different awards. I've won the Bernice Adams Award, which is a coveted local award that you can win. I have spoken in a number of speech contests and gone up to very high levels. I've been doing a lot of work in terms of helping the community. I helped to raise over $3,300 by doing the CIBC Run for the Cure. Now, I'm in a wheelchair, so running is not my forte. And I approached the organizers and I said, look, I can't run. I can't even walk the 1 kilometer. Is there a chance that I could do it a different way? And they said, sure. What do you want to do? And I ended up swimming for 1 kilometer. And I raised $3,300 and I attended the main event and there was not a single camera covering that event. And it was big to raise money for breast cancer research. But I had a camera at my event because I was doing it differently. And it helped boost that entire event simply because I did it differently. And it wasn't same old, same old. I helped to raise over $14,000 to put together they're making an apartment complex for low income seniors. So I sang in a mass choir and helped with fundraising for that. There's so much that you can do in your community. Again, it's finding that passion and purpose that we've been touching on by going out and trying new things. I mean, I put on a show in December for the first time ever called Disability Unleashed. Because in July in Canada, it's Disability Pride Month, as in I'm proud to be disabled. And you have it in the US as well. And but in Canada, it only came into existence in 2023.
What?
And I went online and I was excited. I'm going to get to speak. I'm going to get to volunteer. I'm going to get to meet people that look like me. Find your tribe. And I found nothing, not a single thing. And I didn't know it at that moment in time, but I had decided to become the change that I wanted to see in the world. And I created an event. Now, I expected to do it in July, but because I had made connections, because I had spoken to somebody and asked for help, they turned to somebody else, and that group contacted me in September and said, hi, we've got a venue, we have a budget. Would you like to run your show in December? Oh, my word. My jaw hit the ground and I squeaked out a yes. And lo and behold, Disability Unleashed was born. And we put on a 2-hour variety show with a deaf poet, a blind comic, a disabled dancer, people with a set of musicians with mental illness. I created a small group choir for it as well. And I was the creator, the producer, the social media expert, everything. I had to do it all. And days before, I was so sick. I was incredibly sick. I didn't know it. I even had COVID at the time. And yet I went on stage and we put on an amazing performance. And we're hoping to do it again in July. Still looking for funding and sponsors. Hint, hint, nudge,
Okay.
nudge.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I want to keep changing the disability landscape. I want to elevate and celebrate people with disabilities for the amazing things that we can do. We're not as limited as people think we are.
I love this Disability Unleashed variety show. Like, this could be, while you've been talking, I've been getting hits. And I'm like, you need to be on the late night shows. You need to be on the global news and the CTV news. Like, these are the types of places that were dropping in for me. You
Yeah.
will be there. And then this Disability Unleashed is a whole nonprofit organization where you have hundreds of people helping to grow a place where people can come for support, for money, for help, for abilities to get their purpose and their alignment towards things. There's something really big here, CJ, and I'm so excited that we've connected because, you know, it's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
It all is all about collaboration. And you know, the more people you talk to, the more people can help you to align with the next person that they know is like the nonprofit wizard, or, you know, the person who can do this stuff for you and get you set up with the right billionaire or whatever, right?
Or a whole bunch of $5 donations. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I
Yes.
have such big dreams. I mean, you have
Yeah.
no idea. Conferences, vendors, and having libraries feature disabled authors, and we have a local art gallery. I would love to see disabled artists featured during the month of July. I have big dreams. I do. But I have to start small because it took me 2 months to recover from the show.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a hard pill to swallow, yet I'm not going to stop. I just know I can't do it on my own anymore.
No,
So
you need help.
I need collaborators. I need people willing to help me set up a board to get that nonprofit status. I have learning disabilities. I really struggle with paperwork. I'm going to admit it straight out.
But you're a visionary and a creative. Paperwork isn't your shtick.
I have so many ideas. I love that part of myself.
That's awesome. You're a thought leader, a change maker, a visionary. You're exactly the people who are lined up with Receptive Radio. And Receptive Radio, I'm giving you a call out. Let's connect with CJ. We're going to put her comment or contact information in the comments so you can reach out, connect with her, talk to her. Maybe you are getting some ideas sparked on how you can host her as the singing speaker, or her Disability Unleashed variety show would fit into your event. How can we help CJ manifest her big dreams that will be of huge service to so many people? Like, come on, people.
I would love that. I think one of the things, the way I usually like to start the keynote is, and I'll rise up high like the day, and I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I will rise up no matter how many times I get knocked down. And I will rise with as many people as I can link arms with. And, you know, that's the thing about this life, is we don't have to do it alone. We all go through really tough stuff, but together we can rise and we can do amazing things.
That is it. That is it. You're so right. And it's all about collaboration. It's all about relationships. It's all about partnerships, moving forward into the future of evolution of humanity. And CJ is one of those visionaries and leaders that's going to take us there. So thank you so much for being on the show today. I am so grateful. And I'm fearlessly failing with you all the time too. Like, go scared. Do it anyway. Do it scared. And don't wait for tomorrow when you can do it today too.
Exactly.
And the other one, our tribes are there. Our tribes are there. We just need to get out there and ask for help. And if you have trouble asking for help, you're going to find that person that's going to help you to ask for help.
Yeah.
There will be that.
I actually have a life saying. You probably can't read it on my shirt right now, but it says, choose to live joyously within the tempest of adversity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Well, thank you so much, CJ. And we'll be putting her contact information so you can find her in the comments. So have a great day. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And the cat with sticky notes on her bum. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for sharing your joy and energy with me. It's meant the world.
Awesome. Awesome.